I can't help thinking about what my morning was like. It was a typical Tuesday morning at the police department. I remember thinking that it was a gorgeous day, and I couldn't wait to meet my wife and kids for lunch. When they meet me in the city, they usually take the ferry over and play at the park nearby. I was thinking about what I was going to eat for lunch and what my kids would think about the street performers. I wondered if we were going to go someplace quick to eat, or if we would be able to go somewhere that we could enjoy the nice weather and each other's company. It is always a bright spot in my day when my family comes for a visit. While I was sitting at the precinct, getting ready to go out on my normal morning shift, we heard a loud crash and were told to get to the towers. We were told to make sure we had our radios on and to be listening for further instructions from the department. When approaching the scene, we realized that this was more than just a crash. This was something bigger than that. We could see some people running while others were pointing at the sky. Some were yelling that a plane had hit the North Tower. I saw a man who was having troubles breathing and directed him to put his coat over his face. He was also having troubles walking, so I let him lean on me as we walked away from the tower. All around me, I saw people stunned. Many were carrying their briefcases and suit jackets. I instructed many to use them to cover their noses and mouths so that they were able to breathe a little bit better. Everything was covered in dust and debris from the impact of the plane. I instruct many to move as quickly as they can away from the accident. I wonder why some of them do not drop their things and move more quickly. It's hard enough to walk through the sights, smells, and sounds around us. I'm sure that many are in shock. Many also have out mobile devices trying to get a hold of loved ones who may have heard about what happened on the news. It is then that my thoughts return to my own family, and I say a quick prayer that they are safe, and that God will return me safely to my family at the end of this day. Once I have safely removed the people from the areas closest to the building, I realize that I must go back and see if I can help the firefighters and paramedics to evacuate more. I have heard that there is part of the stairway that is impassable and try to think of a plan for getting to those in need. The stairs were so hot and dark, I couldn't even touch the railing because it was so hot. It was also hard to breathe. As I began walking up the stairs, I heard one of my coworkers call my name. I turned and walked toward him. Just as I got out of the building and close to him, I heard a loud boom and saw Tony fall to the ground. Was that an earthquake? As I stood up, I remember that I couldn't get over the smell. It was a mix of fire, burning flesh, and ash. And what's that smell? Fuel. Jet fuel. I couldn't mistake that after years of working airport security at Newark Airport. It had to be a plane. Another plane? How could this be an accident? This reminds me of what I picture war to look like. I'm just young enough to have missed the Vietnam War, but now, who knows? What is this? Is this war? Was this a mistake? How could a plane possibly hit this building? How could two planes hit each building? There's no way this was an accident. These towers are huge. You can see them from Route 3. Someone has to be behind this. Is this an attack? Is the world ending? Will another plane strike? My mind was swimming with what to do. I looked around and saw nothing but people in a panic. I looked to Tony and tell him that we have to get these people to safety. We have to let the firemen get those still trapped in the building. I need to get the citizens out of here. The falling debris is going to start killing people. I began to help those around me move as far away from the towers as possible. As I look to the sky, all I see is a billow of dark smoke. Or is it nighttime? It feels as though hours have passed. I look at the watch on my arm and realize that it is still morning. I feel helpless, unsure of what to do, how to help. As I'm looking up to the sky, I see items being thrown from the buildings. Wait, Are they? No, it's people. People are jumping from the buildings. In all of my years, I have never seen anything like this. Of course, there's always some excitement and elements of danger to my job, but on a typical shift, the worst thing I have to deal with is a double parked town car or a driver with an attitude. I am not prepared for this. I don't think any of us are prepared for this. As I was leading people away from the building, leading many citizens away from the towers, I heard another loud rumbling sound. I turned to see the tower crumbling before me. This can't be happening. I heard screams coming from all directions and saw many people running as fast as they could away from the towers. Moving was hard. I looked down and saw bodies everywhere. If I didn't continue to look down, I would trip over them and the debris. I couldn't breathe through the smoke, ash, and debris. When will this ever end? I couldn't help thinking that I may never see my family again. I hope they haven't made the trip to the city yet and are safe at home. Even as I think thoughts about how exhausted I am, I look at the damage and realize that no matter how tired I might be, I have to keep moving. I have to continue to help those in need. It is my job, my duty as an officer of the law to put myself in harm's way in order to save others. I also think about the changes that this will cause. I think about the things that I love about the city, the hustle and bustle, the constant noise. I can't imagine what the silence will bring through the cleanup. I can't help but think that the city, the United States of America, and the world will forever be changed by the events that occurred on this day, Tuesday, September 11th, 2001.